Hi guys, and happy Sunday. I'm gonna apologize in advance for my voice because I've been fighting a cold thanks to a toddler. It's the season. I'm gonna do the end of the year book tag that was first started by I think Ariel Bassett like back in 2018. And it's just a few questions just to talk about your reading goals for the rest of the year and just kind of to talk about kind of your last quarter of the year, some of my plans, my goals, my thoughts. As far as reading, I was going through my books that I've read this year, and I kind of feel like I've had an okay reading year. Like I've read a lot of books, but I haven't read a lot of great books. I've read a lot of books I've liked, but not loved. So it's just been kind of a mediocre reading year. And I hope that in this back quarter of the year, I find some more gems and favorite books of all time. I apologize if you can hear my dog whining in the basement. He thinks it's time to eat. It is not. So you'll hear that probably throughout the whole video. The very first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And I present my stack back here. So there's quite a few books that I've started and I need to finish. The very first one is Making a Biblical Womanhood. I started this actually last year when it came out and got really angry about it because this is about the rise of complementarianism in the church. So I have a pretty complicated church history. I was raised Catholic. I'm now Wesleyan, but in between that, there's just been a plethora of things and traumas that have happened to me. And the last church we belonged to was complementarianism. And so this book has been very enlightening and a little anger inducing. But I'm a historian. I have a degree in history. This is written by a historian. And I just think she's a historian, Southern Baptist preacher's wife, which is amazing. And just her eye for detail and how she's looking at both biblical text and interpretation and also history, because these things do go together, is just really well done. So I've started this and now I'm actually going through a book study with some women at my current church, and we are just kind of processing through this book. Okay, and then the next two I have really started. Stamped from the Beginning. This has kind of been my slow but steady, but I haven't been consistent with it, so I want to continue reading this. Just maybe doing a chapter a day, because it's really good. It's just, it takes me a while to process what I'm reading. And Ibram X. Kendi is just brilliant. So this is the definitive history of racist ideas in America. And like I said, I've made some progress on it. I just need to finish it. The other one, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Again, started it, then I started other books and put it down. It's really good. I just, it's also a part of a series. There's 2 books out and the third hasn't come out yet. And so that's kind of like, do I want to get into this and love it and then have to wait years for a book that may or may not ever come out? Kind of a problem with series, but I did this actually for a buddy read with a group, so I don't know if my husband is sawing something right now. I'm trying to film during nap time and it's going really well. Anyways, I like this so far. It just got put down. And then the next 3 books I've started, all of them, and just put them down. And I don't think I should have. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. This is actually one that a friend recommended to me in like the 12 books recommended to you by a friend that was on Instagram. In November, my goal is to go and finish that list. I've got like 9 books I think I need to read. This is one of them, but I've also had multiple friends tell me how much they loved it. So A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. This one I'm embarrassed about. Throne of Glass. I read this a little bit before I really got into Sarah J. Maas, before I discovered the Crescent City series and the Court of Thorn and Roses. So now I want to give this a shot and get lost in another universe. And then this one, I'm embarrassed I haven't read it yet. I started it, got distracted by a whole bunch of library books and put it down. So I would also really like to read this and finish it. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you to the end of the year? I'm actually reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue right now, and I think that is a perfect autumnal book because it kind of encompasses the cozy vibes with some magic, and there's like travel. There's talk about her being stuck in like winter weather. I don't know. I just think it's got very good fall vibes, and it's just a good transitional book to read for fall. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? And the answer is yes. I'm a huge Louise Penny author fangirl. So Louise Penny is one of my go-to authors. She writes a very extensive mystery series, the Chief Inspector Gamache series or the Three Pine series. She comes out with a book about every year from August to November. It kind of just depends on which month. The Three Pines series, it's a small town nestled in Quebec, and it's a little bit north of Vermont, and it's just cozy, and it gives me more winter vibes, but there's a fall mystery element to it, so those are good transitional books. But her newest book, A World of Curiosities, comes out in November. I have it pre-ordered. I need to read the last one, which is The Madness of Crowds, before that, but those books are just so cozy and wonderful, and I'm so excited for just anytime I can read a new Louise Penny. So there's a new one coming out, but I have one to read before that. And I think this is book 18 in the series. I don't know. They're also making it into a series on, I believe, Amazon Prime, and I'm not okay. I will be very unwell when that comes out. So yeah, that's it's she writes such good mysteries, but she also writes really good food writing, and its cast of characters are wonderful. If you do read them, you do have to start in order. You need to read them from book 1 on, and it does take a little bit for the series to take. What are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? That is pretty hard for me to do because I want to read a lot of books, but I will say for sure one of them is The House of the Cerulean Sea. Maybe that's cheating because this is a redo of one from before. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is one I really want to read before the end of the year. And then probably, I do kind of want to read The Silmarillion. I've been really into the Rings of Power series on TV, and I just want to read pre-Lord of the Rings lore and stories. So maybe The Silmarillion will be the other one. That's a really hard question because I'm such a mood reader. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? That's pretty easy. I think it's not going to be The House of the Cerulean Sea if there is one, or The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The other one I'm reading for a challenge is The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman, and I just really like the feeling and the vibes of practical magic, so that could be one too. And I'm a mood reader, so it can depend. I don't know. I hope I have a book that shocks me because I've had such a mediocre reading year. So if one wants to just blow me away and be a favorite of all time, that would be fantastic. And then the final question is, have you started making plans for reading in 2023? And not really. I mean, I want to read more than what I read this year. I always have that goal. I'm a numbers person, which reading is not competitive, but I like to beat myself. So that's stupid, but it is what it is. And I want to complete the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge 1 year, just to say I've done it. I'm always super close. So maybe next year, 2023 will be the year I do that. And my other reading goal is I want to reevaluate the book clubs I'm in, because I'm in a lot of online ones. I'm in an in real life one that I will never give up. But I just want to reevaluate the book clubs I'm in, the subscriptions I use, and just kind of see if I can be more minimal, focus on things, maybe a year of mood reading. I don't know. I'm just kind of want to just read where I want to read and not let other things define, whatever, if that makes any sense. But I just want to maybe mood read for a year. That'd be kind of fun too. So that's kind of my end of the year book tag. Move out of the sun. I am going to edit this. This will get out next week. I'm going on vacation with my husband, just him and I next week, and we're going to go experience fall things. So hopefully I'll get a vlog up for that. If there's any books you're looking forward to at the end of 2022, please drop them in the comments. But if there's a really good fall book you've loved, please drop that in the comments. And thank you for stopping by my channel, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye.